One of the hottest topics in buy-to-let right now.
Energy performance certificate. If you get it right, I think there's actually potentially an opportunity here. There's a lot of scaremongering. Why do I think that there's an opportunity? How to beat the EPC changes? Take advantage. You know, be one of the landlords who make this work for you. First things first, we don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. Some fudge faction. This has happened once already. We can learn a lot from when that change happened. Only make a plan when everything is clear.
Like and subscribe and all that as well.
All that, yeah.
Do that.
Likey, subscribey.
Ding bells and things, yeah.
Do that, lovely job. Right, we're rolling.
Let's go. Hi, welcome to this week's Adam Asks Jess. And I've got a riveting, really exciting question for you this week. It's a hot topic.
Yeah.
It's actually probably one of the hottest topics in buy-to-let right now. It's not really riveting, but it's really essential.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the question, coming from multiple people, lots of people all the time, is pretty much more or less, how worried should I be about the changes to EPCs?
Energy performance certificates.
Everyone's talking about it.
Like Adam says, we get asked this 3 or 4 times every time we meet a group
Every
of
day.
people. A discovery call. Yes, every day. Yeah. So yeah, it might not be the most riveting, but it's really important. And if you get it right, I think there's actually potentially an opportunity here as well. So just explain what the change is.
So currently, if you're renting out a property in the UK, the EPC has to be an E or higher. And the consultation that's currently underway is suggesting that they're going to make it a C or higher. There's lots of mixed reports. Nothing's even been confirmed yet, to be quite honest with you. There's panic from some people for nothing.
Yep.
It's actually quite unrealistic, really, to think that you can suddenly go, jump up 2 stages.
A lot of scaremongering. A lot of people, a lot of landlords that are worried. A lot of scaremongering from people who are offering to fix the problem for you for a fee and those kind of things. So,
I got offered a message in LinkedIn from a company who was specialising in bridging loans to cover the cost of EPC upgrades. And wow.
Yeah. So why do I think that there's an opportunity here? Because this is definitely stopping some landlords buying. It's depressing values on certain types of property, only slightly, but I think as we get towards the deadline, if there actually is ever a deadline that maybe keeps getting
We're
kicked down
talking
the
about
road.
maybe 2025, but that's potentially just for housing associations and another 5 years later for new tenancies, private landlords.
We know that some landlords are selling up, and I think that's a general thing for not just this one reason, but this is part of the mix of the reasons landlords are selling up. So, how to beat the EPC changes, take advantage. Be one of the landlords who make this work for you. Have a plan. So I wrote down a few little bullet points here as we've been asked this a number of times. So rather than just sort of shoot from the hip, I thought, what is it that we say every time and make sure we get every single point across. So first things first, we don't panic. Don't panic.
No.
As Adam said, this is a consultation. I think that is the word they use, consultation. So it's nothing concrete. Nothing's in law. Nothing's concrete. There'll be white paper, different coloured papers going through Parliament. And there's been a lot in the news this month about not this specific EPC rule, the one that applies to landlords, but about EPCs in general and how perhaps they're not the most accurate or useful indicator. And I think
I noticed that. It was in the Times.
It was in the Times, yeah.
That's yesterday, I think, or the weekend.
Yeah, so the 26th. Yeah. Now of February. Now that's not directly related to it, but this whole chipping away at the validity of the whole idea. I read through the article in the Times. EPCs are quite a blunt instrument. They were always meant to be. Doesn't really matter. All we're trying to do is get people generally to pay attention to the energy efficiency of it. When you look at how an energy performance certificate is designed and made and assessed, is the word, not designed, assessed. But I suppose the form is designed and then the assessment happens, and the interplay between those means that there's loads of variables and there's some fudge factor you can definitely introduce. One of the things and one of the ways that happens is it disproportionately represents how bad a bad one is. So G would be really bad, and let's say it says it thinks the energy performance is this. In actual fact, if you measure the energy bills over a period of time, they're not as bad as that. It gets more accurate towards the A. Therefore, the lower ones are disincentivised and they're sort of penalised a little bit more. That was the general thing. So, but I think that will start to chip away at the whole idea of this being introduced. So, don't panic. It's still a consultation. This has happened once already. It is, where we're at now. EPCs have got to be an E, and that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing. That when it moved up, now we can learn a lot from when that change happened from was it G to an E, where it was, I think, or it was just an E came in. Well, I can't remember. I know. So we're taking this one ever so slightly more seriously because. Of course, some properties really won't make a C, whereas pretty much everything that came in, what we already had. So, anything could be changed. So the message straight away, number one, is don't panic, but more than that, only make a plan when everything is clear. You can't plan against a movable, and there's been plenty of instances in the last 5 or 6 years that I can think about when people were to get licenses locally in Nottingham. I've seen it in Northampton on HMO rules, all sorts of different things. When the plan is being talked about, landlords are starting to jump about and do take actions. Getting floor plans was one of the things that we had to get for a license in the consultation. Get electrical certificates, and then it all got walked back. In actual fact, then electrical certificates did come in a little bit later down the line, but don't plan unless it's written in stone. When it's written in stone, you get a bit of time to do it. So lots of things can change. Like I say, all this negative press about EPCs generally, I think that'll bring some of the pressures back. The U value of the humble brick changed last time. I mean, crikey, how possible? That's not possible, of course. So that means that the thermal property of a brick, the Victorian brick, been around since the 1800s, miraculously changed it overnight by the people who designed the calculator, and so that all of those things. This happened when the change to the E came in. So somebody somewhere, some government department somewhere could go, hang on a minute, loads of people are going to be made homeless. How do we fix this? Oh, do you know what? We've been wrong about the brick all the time. It's actually slightly better than we thought. And all these houses just edged into an E. And I think the estimate at the time was 2.5 million people, 2.3 million people. That was just off the top of my head, might be wrong. Could have been made homeless potentially if they hadn't made that little change. So silly little things like that will happen. There's a definite political challenge of people being made homeless, or that kind of thing. And also, there's got to be a point where landlords are feeling so much pressure that becomes a political pressure to walk that back as well. How many MPs are landlords? I don't know.
Probably fair few, I thought.
Sorry, that's a bit cynical of me. I don't know, but. So only work out, only make a change when you know for sure, and that day might never come. Keep looking, but it might never come. This might not ever be put in stone. I think some things will. I think something will come in. It'll gradually ratchet up, but the actual thing that comes in now, I think it will be reasonably diluted. In the meantime, and this is how you can beat the EPC ban. EPC ban. that was a slip of the tongue. I mean, that's like the tenant fee ban. How do you beat the tenant fee ban? Yeah. How do you beat the EPC rule changes? It's take advantage. If houses are on the market and they've got a lower EPC rating, you get to know how you can make the improvements. What will be doable, what changes will mean what improvement on the EPC rating. I can tell you now, I just wrote a few of them down, and maybe you might be able to add a few, but well, really simply, you put LED lights in.
So many little things you can actually do.
Loft insulation makes a difference. Obviously putting a new boiler in, double glazing windows, putting a new front door in that's thermally efficient. Loft installation.
And if you're thinking of buying a house that needs a renovation, you're going to be doing all that anyway.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. If we build this into our process, when we're looking for new houses, then we will be, we don't mind that it hasn't got this and it hasn't got that, because we will be doing that as part of works. We'll do it as a general scheme of maintenance. Could even do it sometimes when the tenant's in. Maybe if you put the right type of tenant in, or just get lucky. I'm not sure if you should ever actually be holding out for the type of tenant like this.
No.
But if you get a tenant who is on some kind of income supplement, universal credit,
There's
those
some
kind of
grants
things,
going around already.
There's grants, you know,
Based on your tenant profile.
Yeah.
Wall insulation, new boilers, loft insulation. That's already started to happen anyway.
Yeah. So do that as part of your ongoing repairs, maintenance, and pay less for the house. Buy off landlords that are selling the property off. You're going to actually, don't be worried about it. Come from it from a power, a strength, a position of strength and power and knowledge, and take advantage. So that would be our advice. If you want to know more about EPCs, jump on a discovery call, and amongst other things, how to buy a property portfolio, how to build a property portfolio, how to rent and manage your portfolio better, properly. Whatever the question would be, a discovery call would be the place to get the answers. But EPCs invariably at the moment are getting questions on those every single discovery call. So pop on a call. I'll give you a full list of those. I mean, I wrote a few bullet points down here, but there's definitely more. And of course, it would be a survey. That's the thing, we can organise a survey on one of the properties, any property we manage. We will actively, over the course of the next 3 years, be going out there surveying the property, seeing how we can bring the thing up to the C. We've got to engage with 2 or 3, excuse me, 2 or 3 EPC assessors who not only go in and do the assessment, but also have got a list of works that's all priced up. So it's a basket rate of works. It's not a quote, it's an estimate, but you can look down it and go, well, these are the things that I could do to bring the thing up to a C, and then we can go and get a quote from there. Then there might be a little bit of a movement either way on the estimate to the quote, but we'd always fix price quote it before we do the work. Anything else?
I don't think so.
One other thing, actually, and I suppose this will be all of the houses that we do a reasonably light renovation on. We're talking about Victorian terrace houses. They're all coming in at
high D.
High D.
Sometimes
already.
even a C already.
Yeah. So all at least a high D, or at least, and then a few of them probably
quite more than you think.
Yeah, maybe half. I don't know. Yeah. So I was going to say 30-40%, but a big percentage. They're already there without doing anything special. So don't panic. Don't do anything until you know the rules. In the meantime, play it to your advantage. Buy the houses cheap, do the works, get them closer to that C through normal repairs and maintenance. Hope that was useful.
Cool.
If you need to know more, book on a discovery call.
Like and subscribe and all that as well.
All that, yeah.
Do that.
Likey, subscribey.
Ding bells and things, yeah.
Do that. Lovely job. Right.
Real.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
See you later.